2024 is the year of the dragon, and San Martin have produced a commemorative watch to celebrate 2024. In fact, they've recently launched two new SN0116s, and I'm going to be showing you both of them in this video. But yeah, of course, I'm going to be focusing on this special edition with a gorgeous dial. They posted pictures of this dial on Instagram, and people were going crazy for it. And I can see why. It's incredible to see brands from AliExpress producing watches to this level, and the dials in particular are getting better and better. In years gone by, I think these brands have focused on improving steel finishing, but they've nailed that, San Martin in particular. So now they seem to have moved on. They're producing more original watches, and they're focusing, seemingly I think anyway, on producing better and better dials, and this is just one example. Let's not forget about the other watch I'm going to show you though. Again, an SN0116 with a sort of red and blue colour scheme. It's also available with a black colour scheme. It's a bit more simple, a bit more traditional. There's a few differences, lots of similarities between these watches, which is why I've decided to show you both of them in the same video. And they are of course GMTs, both housing the NH34. Do you need me to tell you about the NH34? I really don't think I need to, so yeah, let's move on. Both have bi-directional GMT bezel actions, and the bezel actions seem identical. Very smooth, very strong clicks, so the GMT bezel just sort of locks into place very firmly. Have a listen. Obviously the inserts are different. The special edition has a red ceramic bezel insert, beautifully finished, really bright and reflective. Obviously you've got those Chinese markers on them, and the other watch has an aluminium bezel insert, red and blue with your traditional 2 through to 24. Both have the usual specifications we have come to expect from San Martin: sapphire crystal, 316L stainless steel, decent water resistance for these watches, 100 meters. AR coating, double domed crystal it is of course. Decent lume, I'll show you the lume degrading at the end of the video, along with a legibility test. Fantastic steel finishing, and the same cases and bracelets on these two watches. Case shapes and bracelets that we've seen before from San Martin, so you don't need me to go into too much detail. The same clasp as well. It's got the on-the-fly adjustment system. They have used this case shape and bracelet combo a lot recently, and yeah, I can see why. It's just a really nice, simple case shape, beautifully finished, a mix of brushed and polished finishing. I'm not wild about beads of rice bracelets, but I mean, it is nicely done, isn't it? The brushing is nice, the polishing is nice. It goes well with the watch. It's a decent size. It's a sort of average sized, all stainless steel sports watch, GMT watch, whatever you want to call it. Not too big, not too small. It's a sort of Goldilocks watch, really. And that on-the-fly adjustment system means on a hot day or a cold day, you can adjust the watch on the go and always have it fitting perfectly. Now let's talk about the dials, and in particular the dial on the special edition watch. They've colour coded the date wheel. Both watches have date wheels at the 6 o'clock, or the complications are at the 6 o'clock, and both are colour coded as well. But the star of the show is undoubtedly the limited edition 2024 watch. The detail in that dial is fantastic. It looks to have been perfectly produced. Really nice, bright gilt applied indices, applied logo at the 12, and really nicely cut hands, matching in colour of course. A splash of red on the GMT hand, not contrasting particularly well with that sort of red dial, although the dial does fade to a much darker sort of colour towards the outside of the dial, so I guess it does contrast to some degree, but yeah, we'll see how well during the legibility tests, won't we? But yeah, very nice indeed. And you do have a chapter ring actually on that watch with the standard numbers on it as well, 1 through to 24. Whereas on the other watch, you've got 5-minute markers on that chapter ring. So that's quite a thoughtful thing, isn't it? The fact that they've actually put 1 through to 24 on the dial, because, well, yeah, you don't have it on the bezel insert. In fact, I've now just realised I don't know if the bezel is in the right place or not. I'm going to have to find out which one means 24. Because it is going to bother me if I have this bezel on, I don't know, 6 at the 12 o'clock its whole life. That's going to really bother me, actually. Even though it means nothing to me, this bezel insert. I don't understand these markings at all. But it's still going to irritate me if I don't get the 24 at the top. So yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Oh, now I've just noticed they've helped us out. Again, very thoughtful of them, isn't it? They've actually made the 24-hour marker, although it says on the official store on AliExpress that these markings represent the 12 earthly branches, so it might actually be 1 through to 12. But anyway, the one that is supposed to be at the 12 is a slightly different colour. Oh, what a relief. And they've even made it a different colour in the dark to help us out. It's a different colour during the day because it's C3 Lume at the 12 o'clock on that bezel insert, whereas all the other Lume on the bezel insert and on the dial is BGW9. It just gets better and better, doesn't it? And the caseback as well is nicely done. A commemorative caseback, again celebrating the Year of the Dragon. So it's nice to see San Martin producing something a little bit different, a special watch if you like, to celebrate the year 2024, the Year of the Dragon. But the question is, which one would you be more likely to wear? The more traditional looking one with the red and blue bezel insert, or the really quite eye-catching special edition Year of the Dragon 2024, with the gold markers, red fading dial, red ceramic bezel insert. It's a tough one, isn't it? Right, let's start to wrap this up and talk about price. The limited edition 2024 watch is $320 US, although they have provided a $40 discount code, dropping the price to $280, and it looks like there's a bit of a sale on it at the moment. So it's not just this watch which is discounted. There's other watches as well available at the official store on AliExpress. And the other watch is $316. So at the moment, you can actually get the special edition watch cheaper. But is it more or less legible? Well, let me show you the legibility tests and you can see for yourselves. I suspect the 2024 watch is going to be less legible because you've got the red on the GMT hand sort of hovering over, well, a fading red dial. It's quite dark around the outside of that red dial, isn't it? But still. The other watch has a solid red GMT hand hovering over a blue dial, so that is going to be far more legible, I think. But you'll be able to see for yourselves. And of course, you can see the lume degrading. I'll do a comparison test, although the more traditional watch doesn't have any lume on the bezel insert, sadly. So you'll see the comparison between the dials, and you'll see the lume fading on both watches, and you can see for yourselves whether or not it's any good. Right, guys, as always, a massive thank you from me to you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think of these watches. Cheers, guys.